Happy friends. This is Michelle the Stamp Worker, and I am here today to do my Through the Rainbow layout for September 2022, and this month is the month of brown, which seems like it would be easy to use with the fall layout. I also want to use this stamp set. This is the stamp of the month that is available only through the end of September. And FYI, you can get it for $5 with a qualifying purchase. Or if you're a VIP, you can get it for free. Okay, so what I was thinking is a few years ago, maybe 2, maybe 3, I remember seeing someone use a leaf cut out on their Cricut or other die cutting machine, and then they took the negative space and put a patchwork of little squares behind it. So what I was thinking, I put a little bit of washi tape on here just to keep my paper from wiggling around on my mat. My mat isn't that sticky anymore. Okay, so I'm going to, and here's a trick I didn't know for years. Pull the mat off the paper instead of the paper off the mat, and it keeps it from bending the paper. So just bend the mat. Okay. So here's the big leaf. And today I'm not using the leaf. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use some of this Crisp Air from Close to My Heart. It retires at the end of this month, and I don't want to miss it. Look at those pumpkins. I want to keep creating with it. Now for my brown, I thought I would use one of these. I can't decide yet. I have these 3 wood grains from various, they're all close to my heart, but they're all from 2020. I was thinking about using, this is the first one I thought about. I also thought about this one. Then I also thought about this, I forget what that pattern is. If you know, leave me a comment below. It is escaping me, but I would love that on the floor in my house. Okay, so what I see is maybe cutting this cardstock down a little bit so it's framed on all 4 sides by this brown. Perhaps double matting it, maybe putting a sapphire blue maybe behind it too. And then I'm going to take squares, and these squares on this paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these should be 2 by 2. Let's see. And they're right under 2 by 2, which doesn't make sense, right? Because 2 times 6 is 12. But I think actually this one looks narrower. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Apparently I'm allergic to scrap picking. Actually, I think it must be fall that I'm allergic to. So what I could do is I could just use this paper right here that already has squares, right? And do that. I might do that. That would make it a lot simpler, wouldn't it? Kind of maybe figure out where I want it. Like I don't want just this tiny bit to show there. Maybe kind of like that. And then maybe put some brown right here for the stem. What I originally planned until I just got on camera was using some of this paper and cut it into squares. And, well, some of the other pattern paper too. I have various pattern papers. But wow, this would make it super easy, wouldn't it? And then I'm thinking of stitching around the whole thing in brown embroidery floss, and that might actually be doable if this part was already done. So I think I might do that, and then I don't even know what photo I'm going to use, but let's see. I could put a photo somewhere here. Maybe this stamp set Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go, or fall is in the air. And it didn't have to be stamped directly on here. I could also stamp it on some kind of shape, and then put it on here. Then it could actually go like here. That's probably what I'll do. So yes, the colors in this paper collection are so pretty. There's mocha, which is a dark brown, nectarine, which it would be this color. Here's the sticker sheet. It would be this color, nectarine. And then paprika, which is this orangey color, which is beautiful. Peach, which is this color. And then pine, which is the dark green. Sapphire is the blue. Sundance, toffee, and white daisy. So toffee is here. And Sundance, oh, that would be the yellow. I was like, oh no, I don't remember which one is Sundance. So I could also use some of the stickers off of here. Lots of options. And wouldn't it be pretty just to back it with this too, right? Like this, instead of a solid blue, it could be this blue. Okay, so let's see. Let's kind of play around. Let's pick this up. Say I chose that. Woodstock, cardstock, the wood grain. And then I do this. And then underneath it, well, it's the other side of it. So I still have to, I could definitely gut this and use the inside and the outside. I think I already started one. This on the back side of this. Okay. I made another layout with Crisp Air that I need to finish so I could show you, and I actually punched hexagons out of this paper. So this paper is already used. Okay, but that's okay because I have plenty. All right, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then when I get it all figured out, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make it on screen. And then, which is my first time ever, and hopefully I can figure out how to do a voiceover, right? And then I will show you the completed layout. So thanks for hanging out with me. Hey there. Okay, so it's my first voiceover, so please be patient with me. I couldn't get my video to go faster than just 2 times. So I will work on that. But anyway, I apologize. I appreciate your taking the time to watch this. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am cutting down that white daisy cardstock. I think I cut off 3/4 of an inch on each side, so that then I would have about a 1/2 inch of the brown and then about 1/4 inch of the navy. So I kind of fiddle some more with trying to get it all figured out. You can kind of see my thumbs or my fingers tapping as I'm trying to figure it out. But really what I wanted to do is I wanted to use both sides of this paper that I'm cutting right there. One side is the a pattern with sapphire, which is the dark blue, and then this side is I call it the quilted pattern. And so basically I had to gut it so that I could use both sides. So here I am gutting it. So I can use the inside for the inside of the leaf, and then I'll flip it over and use the frame of it for to mat the white daisy cardstock. And I still haven't figured out which wood grain I want to use yet, so I still have one out. I end up using that one that I cannot remember the name of the pattern, and I still need help figuring that out. So if anyone knows, I'm sure everyone knows. Anyway, so here I figure out that the blue needs cut down a little bit on the outside, and so then I had to kind of figure out how much I'm going to cut it down. And I do want to say that I think later on in the video, when I come back and talk about the finished layout, I said the layout took me days, and it did not take me days, like literally not days, but I did start this. I did start this probably on Saturday or Sunday this past weekend, and today's Thursday. So like off and on, it took me several days to do this stitching. But that's okay. I enjoyed it. I mean, well, not always, because my eyes have gotten older, and I had to use, I think I showed you at the very end a while ago, I had to use an OttLite magnifying device that hangs on my neck, and of course my husband makes fun of me and says I look old. Well, it was still not really at the right height, and you can adjust it with this little cord, but I couldn't get it right. And so I was really ending it like stitching without it, but that's okay. I do highly recommend it if your eyes have gotten a little bit older and it's hard to see. So anyway, back to what I'm doing. Now I'm putting glue. I decided to use liquid glue, which I don't think I've ever done around the edge, but I decided to do that because it's a little bit forgiving. It allows you to wiggle it a little before it's actually glued down. And a lot of times when I am matting a layout, I use either the tear tape or I use my ATG gun, and sometimes it's not exactly where I want it, but it's not going anywhere. And so the glue, liquid glue, actually I feel like was a good choice, especially since that sapphire blue frame was so narrow. There wasn't much to it, and so I didn't want to get it crooked. Okay, so here I am still figuring out which wood grain I want to use. I know any of them would have worked, but I decided to use, one of the reasons I decided to use that one with the really cool pattern that I can't remember the name of is because I didn't really see me using that as a full sheet anywhere in the future, and so I thought it was a great way to use it. And later I do gut it a little bit because I had thought that I could use some of it to mat my photos, but in the end I didn't. But I still have a little bit. I still have that gut that I can use in small amounts in the future, either on cards or layouts. So here I am trying to kind of figure out where exactly I want to put the pattern paper. Let's see. Okay, so now I flip my Versamat over. The Versamat is something close to my heart, Carrie's, and you saw the one side, and it's like almost like a self-healing mat kind of quality, and it has the ruler. It's 12 by 12. Really helps me line things up, especially before I got my T-square ruler. But then when you flip it over, it's a soft foam, and you can stamp on that. But I used it to poke, to use underneath my layout as I poked the holes.
Let me tell you.
So here I'm showing you how I did get the layout.
I do it again.
I did get the stitching all the way around.
So I used my
and how I use the and I punched the holes too close together. If you can
paper
see
piercer.
here,
And
so close to the edge
so
that sometimes
there
the
were
paper
a
would break.
few little corners on the
I
maple leaf that I
used
had to
3
put some
strands of
scraps of
floss.
paper
I probably would use 2 if I
on
wanted to stitch this close
because
together.
it didn't quite
So next
reach,
time I would
but
make them a
in the end I think it turned out well. There's some mistakes there on the stem. I
but I
punched
just
the
kept
holes
going.
too close
It
together,
took a
and I
long
also
time.
punched it
But
too
I
close
like the
to
effect.
the edge of the paper, so on the
I like
stem
what it
the
does
paper
for
actually
the
tore.
for the layout. Something else I would do
I
differently
moved the
is
stitches farther
I
away,
would
and you
probably,
can see
instead of
that.
doing this back
If I had it
stitch,
to
I
do
would
over again,
do,
I would definitely
I don't know what
poke
kind
the
of
holes
stitch
a
it's
quarter
called.
of an
It's
inch
where it's
apart.
got a dash
I couldn't
and then
use like
blank,
a
and then
stitching
dash,
ruler
and then blank,
since,
and a dash.
you know, the
Um,
leaf
so I
is a
knew that
different
I
shape
needed to
than
cover
straight.
that up. And
But I would do
basically,
that, and then also I would have also used like the dash stitch. I don't even know if that's really what it's called, but where it's like a stitch and then there's a blank and then there's a stitch. I think that would have looked cuter, more like a quilt looking, hand quilted stitch look. But it is what it is, and I did not want to start over. Like once I got started, that was it. But I do think this is a really cool concept to use the negative image of a Cricut cut, and I do want to
there were like a couple,
try this
maybe
again.
3
So
corners that
I don't really know what I'm pointing out because I actually wasn't going to voice over on this part of the video, but I did.
Some little scraps.
Okay, but I am,
now
I guess is
I'm
what I
at
should
the
say.
point where,
Let's see,
it.
what
It
was,
took me a while to
what,
figure out
oh,
what
okay, so I did print out
I'd
3
never feel like I
photos, and I
have,
printed them out in what I call wallet size. They are 2 by 3s, and then I matted them in white. I had thought about matting them in the leftover of the wood grain, but I went with the white. The 2 photos on the left were taken in New Hampshire, and then the one on the right was actually taken at my daughter's house in Maine, which, as you know, they're right next door, and it was probably the same day. So even though they're not all taken in the same location, I included them because they're all like maple leaf shaped. And here I'm showing you how I use the stamp of the month to stamp the title. Autumn is beautiful. And then how I masked, I wanted something at the bottom of that white die cut. I could have used a different shape, but I wanted to use kind of a tall shape like that, the shape of the photos. And so I took a maple leaf off of the from the stamp set, and I used the masking technique, and that's where you stamp it, and then you stamp it on a Post-it note, cut it out, and then place it over the stamped image, and then you can stamp over that. I did a leaf to the left and leaf to the right, and that allows it to not be stamped over each other. I mean, they are stamped over each other, but but this technique allows it to not look that way. So I will hang on to that little stamped image on the Post-it note and include it, just keep it in my envelope with the stamp set, so that if I do decide to do this again, I already have one step closer to using it again.
Post-it notes are great to use because they already have a little bit of sticky,
and then,
so
let's see, I think I'm trying to figure out here now exactly where I want to put, how I want to kind of line it up.
So I was
originally I thought about doing it in a row, and then I decided I kind of wanted to scatter them a little bit more, like a little bit more organic looking, like you would with leaves falling or leaves landing. But that middle photo, the bright photo, is what I really kind of wanted to focus on more. And so I put it up on Fun Foam. I also put the title up on Fun Foam. And I'm going to glue those 2 down with liquid glue, and then the other 2 photos down with my ATG gun. And here I'm just kind of filling and trying to figure out kind of where I want it. So now that I figured it out, I'm like, okay, let me glue it down before it moves or before I change my mind. So I'm putting the first one down, but as you can see, I didn't put it quite down exactly where I had it. If you want to, if you find out where you want something, and then when you go to glue it down, it's not exactly where you originally had intended it. If you take a photo of it before you glue it down, then you can look at the photo and go, oh, okay, that's how I wanted it. Because here I'm like, wait a minute, this is going to look like a stair step, and that was not my intention. See, it looks like little steps. So then I'm going to move the first photo. Luckily, it wasn't stuck down real bad, or real good, I guess you would say. And then I'm just going to pull that middle photo up a little bit so it's not quite as stair-steppy looking. Then I like to put like an acrylic block, a little bit of weight. Acrylic block works really well because they've got a little bit of weight. And so I do that. And then I'm going to put another one on this title. And there we go. And then I'm going to kind of decide how I want to finish this.
Well, you can see
I'm looking through my mess there. Y'all, I make a big mess when I'm scrapbooking. I don't even know what to do, but here I'm showing you how I was going to use that to mat the photos, but I decided not to.
Because this is the color brown.
And then over also to the left are a bunch of Picture My Life cards that I actually go with this collection, and I thought about using one, but
in the paper.
I really wanted to stamp the title with that stamp of the month. And so here I am showing you all these cards, and then I get down to the bottom, and ta-da, there's the Crisp Air dots, which are basically enamel dots. And I want to kind of scatter them around. And that's the card that I thought about using for the title. And for a split second, I'm like, maybe I should just cover that one up, because I really like that. But like, no, I went to all the work of making it. We will just save that for another layout. So I think what I liked about that card was that it had blue. So then I'm like, okay, so I'm going to pull these dots out, and I think if I put a blue heart on that stamp title, that will help me like it better. And I do like it better. It adds just a little bit. I didn't color the leaves in because I had stamped in brown. I didn't want to use black ink on this layout. And to color them in with my markers, I could have risked the ink bleeding, because it's not as permanent an ink as like my intense black ink. So here I'm just showing you how I'm going to use like 5 different colors down towards the bottom. There is a 6th color in Crisp Air, and it's the peachy pink color, and there's a little bit of that in the pattern paper that has like the white background, but I really didn't want to focus on the pink, so I can always use that pink somewhere else. So I scatter them there at the bottom, and then I'm going to put them to the left of the title, and I think that looks good. And then I'm just thinking about how I didn't quite cover up the end of the stem over on the right, and then there's a little bit of a mistake in the stitching down at the bottom, and so I may end up actually adding something to this layout later, but right now it's finished.
I'm going to call that
so
good. Now, I could come back later and tweak it.
I appreciate you stopping by. I am so sorry that Crisp Air, this collection is not available anymore. I think it was when I started making this layout, and it's already sold out because it's the end of the catalog cycle, and that's what happens.
There to cover it up, because they say no mistakes.
But
there are no mistakes in scrapbooking.
On a happier note, a new catalog starts on October 1st with a lot of Christmas goodies, and it's super exciting. So there it is.
Now, I still
I'll leave my link down below. And please be sure and check out all of my friends who are also playing along with Through the Rainbow. I think I'm the last one of the month to post my brown layout. So when you look at my links, everyone should have their brown layout up. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
If you were wanting to purchase this collection, I think it is already sold out because tomorrow is the last day of the catalog. And I apologize. And I have some other cute layouts with this collection, and I don't think it's available. But if it is, I will link it below. And thank you for stopping by to Michelle's Mess. Just joking. Thanks for stopping by, and I will clean this up. All right, have a great day. Bye.